Hello, and welcome to this week's Campus News Update. I'm Colleen McCormick.
And I'm Courtney Gear. On this week's update, we have student opinions on the upcoming presidential race, and construction begins on the Rotary Centennial Park. Topping our news this week, the U.S. remains split on gun laws, and the debate has made its way to higher education. Could college students soon be able to have concealed weapon on their college campuses? QUTV's Jack Jones has more on this story.
Nevada lawmakers are considering a campus carry bill which will allow students to carry concealed weapons on campus. This means that any student who is 21 or over can take a state-approved course which will allow them to have a concealed weapon on college campuses. Currently, students in Nevada can have their weapons on campus, but they must register their firearm with law enforcement and obtain approval from the campus president.
We are a prohibited location from concealed carry under current Illinois state law. And two, the other guiding principle involved would be the university policy. As a Catholic Franciscan university, we have a policy, an internal policy that would also prohibit the carrying of firearms on our campus, unless you're law enforcement personnel.
The new bill is an attempt to decrease the number of crimes that take place at colleges. However, this may not be the case, because in Colorado and Utah, crime rates actually went up after similar laws were approved. Some students are not in favor of the new gun laws.
I think that students having guns on campus is kind of pointless because it can cause safety concerns.
Should this bill pass in Nevada, many other states may soon pursue similar laws. Fox News reports that 8 states already allow concealed weapons on their campus, while 13 other states are also considering similar bills, one of which is Illinois. This would mean that students who have taken a concealed and carry class will be able to carry a weapon on Quincy University's campus. This may cause some safety concerns here at QU.
I think the biggest concern would be the training that anyone, student, staff, faculty, would have, and the understanding of the responsibility involved in carrying concealed, and the decision-making processes that one would have to go through in order to make a deadly force decision.
Lathrop also stated that due to the number of safety concerns, he is not in favor of students having concealed weapons on campus. For QUTV, I'm Jack Jones.
This bill comes at a time where gun violence can be seen as a shooting at SIU Carbondale took place last weekend.
A few weeks ago, Hillary Clinton announced her run for presidency via Twitter. Controversy already surrounds her campaign, from her use of social media to the sheer fact of her gender. A CNN article reports that unlike in her 2007 run, Clinton will not ignore her gender during this election. She is focusing not only on this controversial issue, but also on trying to get the younger vote through her use of social media. A USA Today article notes that while most election candidates will use Facebook and Twitter, Clinton might be ready to use other social media sites such as Snapchat or Instagram. This, plus focusing on issues that already affect young college students, such as LGBT rights and student loans, might help her win the younger generation's vote. Political science experts on QU's campus weigh in on these issues.
I suspect that she's hired a lot of fairly sophisticated people under 40 who can manage this process for her. So if you look at it, yeah, doing it on Twitter is one thing, but I think in the bigger picture, you're looking at fundraising through this process is going to be a lot more important down the road.
And speaking of Hillary Clinton, we asked students what they think about Clinton's presidential campaign.
I think Hillary Clinton using social media will actually be a really good idea, because a lot of kids obviously spend a lot of time with technology on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram, and all that kind of stuff. So I think that with her catering towards the younger generations, I think that'll be good for her campaign.
I think her use of social media is pretty clever, because she's going to reach a little bit younger demographic where people don't really identify as Republican or Democrat quite yet. At least I don't really know, but I think it sounds good. And I don't know, I think her being a woman will affect her a little bit because she is the first woman to run for president. So I don't know, I feel like she's going to catch a lot of...
Well, that what happened with Bill Clinton won't help because a lot of people say, you know, she can't control her husband, what makes her think she can control the country, and that's not fair. You know, he did that, not her. So.
I know before in many campaigns there was a lot of controversy on women running. They always felt like women couldn't do the job because they're supposed to be stay-home wives or stuff like that. But I think since Obama came in, he paved the way since being a minority that maybe the rest of the world are ready for women to be in office.
I think it was pretty cool that Hillary Clinton announced her campaign or candidacy via social media on Twitter. A lot of people probably weren't expecting it to be there. They probably thought there would be some announcement. I also thought it was pretty awesome that she did it on Twitter and not, you know, announcing a press release or having a press conference. And I think, you know, a lot of people will vote for her because she's a woman, and a lot of people want to see a female president, especially after seeing an African-American president.
The Communication Honors Fraternity Lambda Pi Eta hosted a service trip to the local soup kitchen last Friday.
Horizon Social Services of Adams County works through the Quincy Soup Kitchen and Food Pantry to serve meals to members of the Quincy community in need. The organization serves approximately 70 meals per day, 5 days a week. About 15 students volunteered part of their day to help prepare and serve lunch to the Quincy community. The service learning experience made a lasting impact on many of the students.
There's actually There's actually a really great experience. I've never been here personally before, so it was really great to get out in the community and like learn stories and talk to people and serve people that are less fortunate.
To learn how you can volunteer to earn service learning hours at the Soup Kitchen, contact the Campus Ministry Office.
From soup to wine. This year's wine and cheese tasting is Saturday, May 2nd from 7 p.m. until 11 p.m. in the Hall of Fame room in the Health and Fitness Center. The 2015 Senior Class Gift Committee invites all students, alumni, and friends who are 21 and over to attend. Tickets are $10 per student and $15 per non-student. Entry includes up to 3 tastings, a commemorative glass, and a selection of cheese and fruits. The evening will also feature a silent auction, and refreshments will be available for purchase. You can buy your tickets from any senior representative or from Alumni Affairs in the basement of Francis Hall. Coming up, a weird story from around the web that will keep you buzzing.
And a look into a much cooler Hawkward weekend weather forecast. We will be right back.
Yes, growing up I had one deaf friend, and that was the only deaf person I knew before coming to school here at QU. And now I regularly get to hang out and socialize with the deaf community, which has been awesome. Sign language isn't exactly like learning another spoken language because you use your body, facial expressions, your hands are your instruments. So it is definitely learning a new language. It has its own grammar and syntax and everything. It's not exactly like English like a lot of people think it is.
Welcome back. We've been through quite the cool down this week with temps in the 50s and lots of overcast.
And now it looks like this upcoming Hawkward weekend may be a wet one. QUTV's Allison Malone has the latest. Allison?
Hi everyone, let's get started on your weekly forecast. Starting on April 24th on Friday, it's going to be 64 degrees. Now it is going to be a doubleheader for the women's softball team, and it is going to be raining on that day, so make sure you guys go out and support and bring your umbrellas. And then on Saturday, we're going to have 63 degrees. It's going to be thunderstorm once again like we had last week, and it's going to be raining. So once again, make sure you go out, bring a raincoat, umbrella. And then on Sunday, it's going to be a nice 66 degrees. We're finally done with the rain. And then we're also going to have another women's softball game, doubleheader. So make sure you guys go out support. Shouldn't be a problem. It's going to be nice sunny skies. And then starting on Monday, we're going to have a nice 70 degrees. So we're going to come back from this rain that we had on Friday. And then on Tuesday, it's going to be 66 degrees. We're going to drop down just a little bit partly cloudy skies. And then on Wednesday, we're going to have 70 degrees. It's still going to be nice, but we're going to have a cloudy day. And then Thursday, it's going to be 72 degrees, nice sunny day, a nice day to end the week. So thanks for watching our weekly forecast. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Allison. And if temps rise, you may be able to use a new addition coming to campus soon. As we told you earlier this semester, Quincy Rotary Club recently donated $50,000 to QU to build a park on campus. That park is now becoming a reality with construction beginning on the south end of Friars Field. The park is in honor of the club's 100th anniversary next month. The Quincy Rotary Centennial Park will contain a walkway, various exercise equipment, flower beds, newly planted trees, and lamps for safety. The purpose is to make an impression and leave something that future generations can enjoy and benefit from.
Club members decided they wanted to do something to commemorate the 100th anniversary, and they chose one of the projects to be done here at Quincy University to create an area where students, faculty, and staff, and the community at large can gather, can relax, can study, and even exercise and be just outdoors and enjoy nature.
The park is estimated to be completed by the end of May. Coming up, highlights from QU Hawks baseball.
And a story about an unlikely traveler, as well as more weird and wacky news from around the web in this week's Hawkward segment. We'll be right back.
The future of the program is very bright. It's an exciting time on QU campus because we have QUTV. We have a television station where students can experience working as a director, an anchor, a reporter, photographer, doing weather, doing sports. We also have a newspaper where students can report, be photo editors, be executive editors. We've got a lot of opportunity there working on the student newspaper. We also provide students with the opportunity to do magazine articles with heavy research and giving them a little bit more time to expand on articles and do some in-depth investigative work. Moving forward, it's exciting because all of the skills they learn in every avenue will translate into what we have in the future, and web writing and mobile writing and all of our distribution platforms. We have an incredible opportunity to grow the department, to grow the program, and to grow students into excellent journalists.
Look at how QU Hawks volleyball tried to bump up teamwork to end their season on a high note.
And the baseball team's continued success. QUTV's Andrew McCulloch has the latest in sports. Andrew?
It's springtime in Quincy University. The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, and the Lady Hawks softball team is looking to heat up their bats as they travel to Southern Indiana to play a doubleheader. The Screaming Eagles of Southern Indiana would prove to be a very difficult challenge for the Lady Hawks as they entered this doubleheader at 31-5. And Southern Indiana took game one by a final of 7-1, and it would not be the same. It would be the same story, for the Lady Hawks in game two, as they would fall 8-0. They couldn't score any runs, just one run combined in this doubleheader. Southern Indiana improves to 33-5 on the season. Quincy is now 18-14. For QU, Rachel Scrum picks up one hit on 3 at-bats. And for SIU, it's Mackenzie Dorsum going 3 for 3 with a home run and 4 RBIs. So how about the Hawks baseball team? They've been playing on a groove as of late. They've won 7 of their last 9, and they would look to continue that success against Lincoln University. Coach Raby's team would defeat Lincoln 9-4 in game 1, thanks in part to Dominic Miles' 5 RBIs. And would game 2 be the same story, or could the Blue Tigers of Lincoln, who are 3-40 on the season, pick up a rare victory? On to QU Stadium to find out. Here it's a wild throw at first base that's going to get Lincoln University from all the way from first to second base. That's Braden Scholl on the mound making that mistake, and he would not be happy with himself. And it would continue here as we're going to have a Lincoln University double down the left field line. A lot of the Hawks players were a little wary about this one. They thought it was a foul ball, but it stands as a double into left. RBI scored for Lincoln University. They took the lead, but here come the Hawks. It's Corey Wisdom putting that one way over to the right field wall. In this doubleheader, he went a combined 6 for 6 and also drew 2 walks. And here we've got that's Matt Merrick here with a fly ball into left, shallow left, the wind breezy on this day. messing with the defenders, and that's going to cost them because freshman Bryn Martinez is going to come up. A smooth swing, and this ball is way out of here into right field. QU picks up the W in this one by a final of 7-3, sweeping Lincoln. They're 27-14 on the season. Lincoln 3-41. Corey Wisdom, as I said, reached base all 8 times in the doubleheader. In Game 2, he goes 2 for 2 at the homer and an RBI. Bryn Martinez with only 1 hit, but it proves to be a big one. It's a home run, and he had 3 RBIs on the season. From the breezy confines of QU Stadium to the hardwood indoors we go. The QU Hawks volleyball team was going to look to end its season with a W against Lindenwood, and they would need it as they've been on a 3-game losing streak. And despite 15 kills from junior Brian Rogan, the Hawks would fall 3-1 against Linden University, ending their regular season at 13-14. Lindenwood advances to 12-11. Brian Rogan with those 15 kills and 2 aces. Colin Hackworth for Lindenwood with 13 kills and 4 blocks. So we've got a little bit of inconsistency, some W's, some losses, but one thing you can always count on is our consistency right here at QUTV, as we always give you the best sports coverage week in and week out. Signing off for QUTV Sports, I'm Andrew McCulloch. I'm going to send it back to Colleen in the news desk.
QUTV's Randy Swope joins us now with the latest in weird news from around the web in this week's Hawkward. Randy?
Thanks, guys. And I'm Randy Swope, and welcome to this week's Hawkward segment, where we bring you the weirdest and wackiest stories from around the web. So let's get started. Our first story here will keep you buzzing, so listen to this. A semi-crash spilled millions of bees on a Washington highway. The truck carrying the 12 million honeybees was set to go a Washington state blueberry farm, spilled hives across the highway. This, of course, triggered a cleanup and rescue operation. Turns out a blown tire caused 458 hives, each containing around 30,000 bees, to be released on the asphalt. And here's the stinger. Fire crews combed their way through the doused and spilled cargo with a fire retardant which killed tons of bumblebees, but it still took beekeepers hours to contain the rest of the bees. And it took firefighters the same time to hose off the dead bees from the highway. Yikes! We can't believe that something like this could happen. One thing's for sure, if you're allergic to bees, stay away from Washington, because ultimately this accident is a buzzkill. Awkward. From beehives to tree trunks, our next story will leave you barking with laughter and maybe asking yourself, what was this guy thinking? A 65-year-old Boston man has been arrested as police believe he is the infamous Brington tree ninja. For several years, a vandal has been damaging newly planted trees and shrubbery. Until recently, no one has any clue who could have been doing this wicked woodwork. But after Brington police set up surveillance near a club which caught Joseph Reza entering an empty lot and attempting to chop down a tree with a hammer. Reza is being charged with 5 counts of willful destruction of property as well as possession of a dangerous weapon. And police are continuing to trace Reza's involvement with several years of similar cases. But this whole situation seems to be a little bit shady to us, and that maybe it's time to branch out and hammering something else down other than trees. And we're going to go out on a limb here and say that he asked for it. Hawkward. Well, this next story here is a case of the traveling tabby. It looks like this cat had an extremely case of wanderlust. Kevin, the orange tabby, has more than an interesting story. After being adopted by a woman in June 20th in 2013, sorry about that, my apologies, in South Carolina, he vanished shortly after. Kevin's owners let him outside one day and didn't see him again for almost 2 years. Cut to March 4th of this year when a U-Haul driver around the California-Arizona border was stopped by a food and agricultural inspector. The inspector heard muffled meowing and lo and behold, found a cat stowed away. The inspector took the dehydrated cat to a local Californian animal service shelter where they found that he had a microchip under his skin. and this information ultimately led them back to South Carolina. A reunion is now in the works, and it seems like Kevin is still quite the traveler, but he's been put on a flight from Palm Springs to land in South Carolina later this week. Talk about a daring drifter. Kevin is lucky that he hasn't ended up like our other cats in our other Hawkward segments, and that he still has his 9 lives. But maybe from now on, Kevin should become a strictly indoor cat. Talk about Hawkward. Well, that's all we have for you on this episode of Hawkward. Make sure you tune in for next week's and you watch all the wacky and weird news from around the web. So stay tuned because we're bringing you all the Hawkward segments. I'm Randy Swope, and I'm sending it back to the news desk.
Thanks, Randy. Andrew joins us now at the desk. Any big plans for Hawkwild weekend?
Unfortunately not. I'll be working all weekend, so no Hawkwild plans for me. What about you guys?
I've got a team, and I'm pretty excited for it. How about you, Courtney?
I'll just be on the sidelines watching you, Colleen. I'll take some pictures.
Sounds good. Well, that's it for us this week. Remember, as always, to tune in online, on campus, or on Facebook, or on Channel 97 on campus for more news anytime. For the entire QUTV team, I'm Colleen McCormick.
And I'm Courtney Gear. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next week.